I would have no problem staying in Montreal because I could work here in French. A lot of my friends could not.
Still, the Chicago native says students are doing what they can to avoid going back.
They just don't want to go back to the U.S., don't want to be in the U.S.
Imagine being an American and not wanting to go back to your own country. That's the reality for a growing number of American students in Canada and US citizens living abroad. They're actively trying to avoid returning home. Now, Canada isn't perfect. We've got our own challenges with affordability and politics. But having lived in parts of the world where even basic needs aren't guaranteed, I've come to appreciate what we have here. This is my home. I was born here, and I'm proud to be Canadian. I honestly can't imagine what it feels like to hate the country you live in. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at an older report that is still incredibly relevant. American students studying in Canada who want nothing to do with their home country. We've also got another story coming out of California, where they're now trying to lure Canadians back. After watching it, I'm pretty sure most of you will be saying, no thanks. The background photo today is from the west coast of Vancouver Island, taken by my mom. She picked up photography after retirement and managed to capture the raw beauty of Canada's west coast. I thought it was a perfect chance to show our fellow Canadians and our international allies what this country really has to offer. So thank you, Mom. She watches the channel too. And before we jump in, if you're new here and you enjoy the content, a like and subscribe really helps us reach more Canadians and allies around the world. To everyone who's already joined us, thank you. Let's get into it.
They came for school. Now some say they may never go back. Alexia Lam is finishing her degree at McGill's Faculty of Education. The Texas native once planned to return home, but says the U.S. no longer feels like a sure bet.
I didn't have like a very solid decision about where I was staying before I came in, and I was definitely considering Canada as a potential future home.
She points to immigration policies and border controls under Donald Trump.
There's a lot of uneasiness around just immigration process and even just entering and leaving the country.
The Trump administration has revoked visas over minor infractions and promoted self-deportation policies. Lam says cuts to the U.S. education system sealed her decision.
They're letting go of a lot of teachers and a lot of staff within the Department of Education, and that's really it's really scary.
The administration's move to weaken the department could make existing problems worse, from teacher shortages to failing test scores.
I'm genuinely curious. What's the logic behind Donald cutting funding for education? If anything, education should be one of the top priorities. It's how you build future generations with real-world skills, critical thinking, and even just basic common sense. But right now, there are Americans who literally can't find their own country on a map. And the plan is to cut funding even more? I don't get it.
But staying here isn't easy for everyone. McGill student Sophie McBroom sees how Quebec's French requirements can limit opportunities.
I would have no problem staying in Montreal because I could work here in French. A lot of my friends could not.
Still, the Chicago native says students are doing what they can to avoid going back.
They just don't want to go back to the U.S., don't want to be in the U.S.
Trump's policies have also rolled back protections for transgender and non-binary Americans, from banning the X marker on passports to defunding gender-affirming care for youth. For some, fears of a life in the U.S. go back to Trump's first term, and it's not just students choosing to leave. When Michelle Phones looked ahead to life in Florida, she didn't see a future.
The overturning of Roe v. Wade was the big catalyst for me. Losing those reproductive rights, especially in Florida.
Concerns over gun violence pushed her further.
I don't think I could handle the anxiety of sending kids to school and wondering if they'll come home.
She considered Toronto.
The cost of living was quite high, so looked at Montreal and kind of just fell in love with the city.
After a year here, Phones is putting down roots.
I'm actually in the process of buying a house here now, so I'm here to stay.
As politics shift south of the border, more Americans are looking north, not just for an education, but for a future.
So there you have it. It's not just Canadians who are fed up. A growing number of Americans are just as frustrated with what's happening in their own country. Some are even looking to leave altogether. And honestly, I get it. If they manage to make their way to Canada, I'd welcome them. I think and hope many of us would. Now on to what's next. California is making another push to win us back. Just over a month ago, Gavin Newsom put out a commercial trying to lure Canadian tourists. It didn't work. And now, it looks like California is shifting into full panic mode. Let's take a look.
We're going to get out to Nancy Liu, who's in California. We were talking a moment ago about the impact of tourism. Well, they have a unique idea. Nancy joins us now from LA on tourism. We were talking about the impact of the wildfires. They want to bring in those Canadians who are dealing with the wildfires to California. What's Governor Newsom up to?
Yeah, I know.
Wait, Canada is dealing with major wildfires right now. People are being evacuated, homes are burning, and entire communities are under threat. And California thinks this is the moment to market a vacation to us? That's not just bad timing. That's f***ing tone deaf.
We're seeing a far fewer Canadians out here, and the tourism hit is apparent up and down the state, especially here in Southern California. This is supposedly the start of high season for tourism, but look, just looking around here, there are definitely fewer visitors. Santa Monica and California's usual tourism hotspots, often anything but crowded these days. In what Governor Gavin Newsom is calling a Trump slump, the Golden State has seen about a 20% drop in Canadian visitors so far this year, and that's after nearly 2 million Canadians helped to fuel the California economy last year. So state officials have teamed up with Expedia to launch a campaign called California Loves Canada. It includes a Canada Value program with major discounts on hotels and attractions. Now, I was in Canada just this week, yesterday, speaking with people in the Toronto area. We heard about high costs as a considerable factor in staying away from the U.S.
Here we go again, blaming the Canadian dollar. I said this in a previous video, and I'll say it again. The dollar now compared to last year is barely half a cent different. That's not why tourists are staying away. So stop using it as a lazy excuse.
But even with big travel deals, many say they will continue to boycott, citing political tension and crime. Take a listen to this guy named John from the Toronto area.
A lot of the nice states to go to, I would just avoid. Like California looks like it's even worse at the homeless encampments than Ontario. That just looks dangerous. I mean, Florida is being run by a bunch of nutcases. I mean, and New York looks like it's in worse shape than Toronto when it comes to all the homeless encampments and everything. Like, Philadelphia looks awful. Pittsburgh doesn't look good. I mean, where would we go?
The tourism hit is hardly limited to California. Last month, the number of Canadians making return trips from all checkpoints along the northern U.S. border down by over 35% from the year before. And those returning from the U.S. by plane, down by nearly 20%. And despite many family ties and a very long history of friendly U.S.-Canadian relations, a lot of people saying that they're gonna stay away. Looking at future flight bookings, Connell, those are also down to all U.S. destinations by more than a third.
So yeah, travel is down, flights are down, and California is clearly struggling. We're only a little over 4 months into Donald's term, and let's be honest, it's going to get a hell of a lot worse before it gets better. I'm not going to the US anytime soon. Next year, I'm heading to Australia and Thailand instead. If you found this video valuable, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more like-minded viewers across Canada and beyond. I appreciate every single one of you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.